Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to my review of the Greatest Royal Rumble. And I watched the show today while it was airing live on the network. And the show was held from the King Abdullah Sports Center in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. And I have to say, the Greatest Royal Rumble, I thought it was an okay show. Wasn't, a great show by any means. I did have some fun with it, and it was practically all the men's match for the whole show. There was controversy about, about the women superstars not competing at this show because of limited rights of women in Saudi Arabia. And I'm like, I don't mind that, because we're just gonna get to see the women superstars compete on Raw and SmackDown, and also at Backlash. So, but WWE went all out on this show. You could tell from the stage, you could tell by the pyros and the fireworks. You could definitely tell WWE went all out on the show. They spent a lot of money on this, from promoting the whole show. But yeah, it was, like I said, it was an okay show. I had some fun with it. So and the crowd, in my opinion, I kind of felt it was a little weird, because there was some chants, like most of the crowd chanted for Cena in his match with Triple H, and basically it was just it was silence during some of the other matches though. So, but that's just me. That's just my opinion on how I viewed it. So we're gonna get on with the first match. The show opened up with John Cena versus Triple H, and this was a decent match. Triple H didn't have a special entrance, but when John Cena ended up coming out, he had little kids there on the stage when he came out, and we didn't hear from the crowd go, "John Cena sucks," but we didn't hear none of that tonight. But the match itself, like I said, it was decent. It started off a little slow in the beginning, but picked up really well when Cena took control of the match. And the end of the match, John Cena ended up getting the win. He was trying to AA Triple H, and then he slingshot Triple H into the turnbuckles, and it gave Cena a chance to AA Triple H to score the win. So John Cena ended up winning the match. And after the match, Cena actually hit the last AA on Triple H. He hit 3 AAs in the match, and the last one was the third AA that he hit Triple H with to score the win. So then after the match, Cena ended up getting on the mic, saying that it was an honor and privilege to be in an event like this today. And he said that he wasn't going to miss this event for anything in the world. And he ends up thanking everybody in Saudi Arabia. He also thanks the crowd for him being a part of something so special. So it was pretty nice. It was pretty nice of Cena saying that. But all in all, John Cena versus Triple H, it was a decent match. Started off slow, but picked up really well as it went on. Then the next match, it was Cedric Alexander versus Kalisto for the Cruiserweight title, for the Cruiserweight Championship. Kalisto won a won a Fatal 4-Way, and that's how he got to face Cedric Alexander, at the Greatest Royal Rumble. And the match itself, it was a fun match. It was decent. It was back and forth between Cedric and Kalisto, and it was just them flipping, and Kalisto was impressive in the match. The match ended with Kalisto trying to do a Salida del Sol to Cedric Alexander, but Cedric countered it into the lumbar check to score the win. And so Cedric Alexander, still retains the Cruiserweight Championship. And Cedric Alexander hasn't lost a match since December, as what commentators said. So that's really impressive. So, but all in all, it was a fun match. It was a decent match with Cedric Alexander and Kalisto. Then we had Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy versus Cesaro and Sheamus for the vacant Raw Tag Team Championships. Of course, Braun Strowman and the partner that he chose at WrestleMania, Nicholas. They end up winning the Raw Tag Team Championships at WrestleMania. The next night on Raw, they had to relinquish them. And so the titles sat vacant. And so they had the Tag Team Turmoil match on Raw. And so Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy end up winning the match, and then they got to take on Cesaro and Sheamus at this show. And the match itself, Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy versus Cesaro and Sheamus, it was okay. Wasn't the best match of the night in my opinion, though. But Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy, they did really decently in the match. Pretty much they were basically entertaining during the match. And Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy got the win. Matt Hardy ended up hitting the Twist of Fate on Sheamus to score the win. So Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy are your new Raw Tag Team champions. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. But like I said, the match itself, it was okay. Not the best match of the night in my opinion. Then we had Jeff Hardy versus Jinder Mahal for the United States Championship. This match, it was okay. The one botch in this match was Jeff Hardy ended up doing a whisper in the wind, but Jeff Hardy actually missed, and then Jinder Mahal made a fool out of himself. Was stupid because Jeff Hardy missing the whisper in the wind. Jinder Mahal just flops on his back and thinks that he sold the move, and I'm like, oh God. I just couldn't stop laughing. It was funny. It was really funny though. But Jeff Hardy ended up winning the match. He ended up hitting the Twist of Fate on Jinder Mahal, and then hit the Swanton Bomb on him to score the win and still retain the United States Championship. So, but like I said, the match itself, it was okay, and the botch from Jinder Mahal was funny. So, and then we had Mike Rome interview Chris Jericho. Jericho thought he was Tom Phillips, and Jericho says, he ends up. Mike Rome actually, says to Jericho, will he win and make history tonight in the Greatest Royal Rumble? Win the first ever Greatest Royal Rumble match. And Jericho says, it is great to be back in WWE, and competing in this Greatest Royal Rumble match. And he said he wants to get his hands on Kevin Owens because he hasn't forgot what Kevin Owens did to him in the whole Festival of Friendship segment that they had. So, and then Jericho says, this is his night and that he could feel it. And what we all saw was he ended up putting Mike Rome on the list. He ended up putting the cameraman on the list and the other person there on the list. I missed that. I missed, Jericho and the whole, you just made the list thing. So, because, he's been gone out of WWE for, I think, like I said, for 7 months. Because he had that whole New Japan match with Kenny Omega. So, but it was a pretty fun interview with Jericho. And then we saw also Mike Rome interview Daniel Bryan about, what does the night mean to him and, him being a part of the Greatest Royal Rumble. And Daniel Bryan says, being back is a privilege, being back in the ring and being in the Greatest Royal Rumble match. He says, that being in the Greatest Royal Rumble match, is a privilege, and that he plans to go out there and win the match. So it was a pretty good interview with Daniel Bryan. Then we had the Bludgeon Brothers, Harper and Rowan versus the Usos. This match was decent. It was short also. Bludgeon Brothers beat the Usos to retain the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. So it was a decent match, but short. Then we had, after that, we had the Fatal 4-Way Ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. It was Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor versus The Miz versus Samoa Joe. And this was a fun match. This was a decent match. It was very entertaining. Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, both of them were good in the match. It was back and forth. One point in the match, you had Finn Balor, trying to get the Intercontinental Championship. He was on top of the ladder, and then Seth Rollins ends up jumping on the top rope, and then he jumps and lands on the ladder, climbs up the ladder, and ends up retrieving the Intercontinental Championship. So that was pretty cool. That was pretty awesome of what Seth did. So Seth Rollins ended up winning the match, ended up winning the Fatal 4-Way Ladder match. It was a decent match. It was a very fun match. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've seen a ladder match. Not counting Money in the Bank. So just a regular ladder match. And then after that, we had like this little segment where it was like these Greatest Royal Rumble tryout guys from Saudi Arabia. It was posted on WWE's social media pages. On their social media pages like Facebook and Instagram. And they just introduced us to these guys in the ring. That maybe one day we'll see them on the Raw or SmackDown brand. And so the Daivari brothers end up coming out. Arya Daivari and Sean Daivari. Sean Daivari, we haven't seen him in a very long time. And I didn't even know that it was Sean Daivari because his head was shaved. I remember back then when he was with Muhammad Hassan and Kurt Angle. I remember he had hair, but he looks different with a shaved head. Like I said, I didn't even know it was him though. But they came out to a crowd of boos. Arya Daivari says to the guys in the ring that these are just tryout guys, are they breakout guys? And he ends up saying that they are not athletes, and that him and Sean are athletes that come from Iran. So, and then we just see, you know, tryout guys end up taking out both Arya and Sean Daivari. It was pretty cool. I mean, it was fun. It was good seeing Sean Daivari back. You know, like I said, it's been a while since we've seen him. But yeah, overall, it was a decent segment. And then we had Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. The match was going decently. It was back and forth between the both of them. These guys just, you know, want to tear each other apart. Nakamura ended up low blowing Styles again. So it's like Nakamura and these low blows. He definitely likes that crotch. But the match ended in a double count out because both of them were brawling on the outside. And, you know, I kind of see why they did that, because they're fighting. They're going to have a match again at Backlash for the WWE Championship at Backlash. So I can see why they did that. You know, just build some hype leading into them heading into Backlash, so they could compete again, and, you know, hopefully maybe, you know, Styles retains or Nakamura becomes the new WWE champion at Backlash. So you can see why they did it. But all in all, match was decent up until the end. Then we had the casket match, Undertaker versus Rusev, and this, when they originally planned this, it was going to be Undertaker and Rusev, but then they ended up changing it. It was going to be Undertaker versus Chris Jericho, but then they ended up switching it back to Rusev. So we had this take place at the show tonight, and casket match. It was decent. It was a enjoyable match. Undertaker moved really well in the match. He was very strong in the match. Moved pretty well. And you know, it's been a while since we've seen a casket match. I think the last time we saw like a casket match was maybe like 2008. I may be wrong on that, but it's been a while. But it's been a while since we saw a casket match. Since we last seen a casket match. And Undertaker was just dominating on Rusev. It went back and forth. It went outside. You end up at one point, Undertaker pushed Rusev into the casket, but Aiden English ended up making the save and not letting Taker close the casket. And so Taker ended up running Aiden English off, a little bit on the ramp. And so we got back to the action in the ring. Undertaker ended up hitting a choke slam to Rusev. He ended up putting Rusev in the casket. And so Aiden English comes from behind and, starts, hitting Undertaker. Taker ends up coming and choke slamming Aiden English. He then hits Aiden with a tombstone pile driver. And he also pushes Aiden into the casket along with Rusev. And so, Taker then just closed the casket. And the match was over with both Rusev and Aiden inside the casket. So, but all in all, it was a decent match. It's been a while, like I said, it's been a while since we've seen a casket match. So it was enjoyable. And then we had Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns in a steel cage for the Universal Championship. Match itself, it was pretty much a shitty match in my opinion. The crowd wasn't behind this match. The crowd had the same reaction as what we saw at WrestleMania, where nobody gave a shit about Lesnar and Roman going at it. WrestleMania, the crowd there. The crowd here, same thing. We had Lesnar giving 4 German suplexes to Roman Reigns. He hit Roman with 1 F5. Roman hits 4 Superman punches, 4 spears to Lesnar. On the spears, Lesnar ended up kicking out of them, and then the final point in the match, Roman Reigns ended up spearing Lesnar through the cage. It broke, and then both of them landed outside, but Brock touched the ground first, because I know, the steel cage rules. It could be won by pinfall or climbing out of the cage. But both of them landed outside, so Lesnar, touched the ground first. So Lesnar ended up winning. It's a very controversial finish, though. But Lesnar, that's what they went by. Lesnar wins the match, still retains the Universal Championship. And after this, I don't want to see another match with Lesnar and Roman. I mean, no, they're pushing Roman. They're giving him these title shots, but they're trying to get Roman over. But WWE, it's not working. It's not working. You're not, Roman's not getting over with the crowd. So please stop trying to give Roman all these title shots and trying to put him over with the crowd, because the crowd is not, the crowds are not responding well to it. So I like I said, I don't want to see another match with Lesnar and Roman. I don't. But all in all, it was a shitty match. It was a shitty steel cage match. It was just full of suplexes and spears and F5 and F5 and Superman punches. So then we had the 50-man Greatest Royal Rumble match. The winner of the match gets a trophy and got a Greatest Royal Rumble championship, which was in green. Had the green straps and everything. But it's 50 men, so I'm going to list the 50 men that were in the match. The first entry into the Greatest Royal Rumble match was Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan actually set a Royal Rumble record for being one of the first being the first ever in a Royal Rumble match where he was the first person to be in it, and lasted about an hour and 5 minutes in the match, because I think in history, I may be wrong on this, but throughout Royal Rumble's history, the first person to enter didn't have like a record-breaking streak of being in the Rumble match for a long while, for an hour and 5 minutes into the match. But Daniel Bryan, he was impressive in this match. Really awesome. He took one hell of a beating where his chest was all red up here. It was all scratched up. He took a hell of a beating, and he was just great in the match. So Daniel Bryan was the first person to enter. Second person was Dolph Ziggler. Third was Sin Cara. Number 4 was Curtis Axel. Number 5 was Mark Henry. Mark Henry came out of retirement. He just went into the Hall of Fame, a few weeks ago during the WrestleMania weekend. So he came out of retirement for this match, for the Greatest Royal Rumble match, and he was decent here. Number 6 was Mike Kanellis, who hasn't been seen on WWE TV in a long while. And, he was basically jobbing. He's basically a jobber. He ended up getting eliminated by Mark Henry in a second. Broke a Royal Rumble record. Which I laughed at that. I laughed when Mark Henry eliminated him in just that second. Number 7 was Hiroki Sumi. Don't know any information about him. I think maybe he's a sumo wrestler who competes in the ring. Don't have too much information on him. Number 8 was Victor from the Ascension. Number 9 was Kofi Kingston. Number 10 was Tony Nese. Number 11 was Dash Wilder. Number 12 was Hornswoggle. Hornswoggle returned for this match, although he got screwed because he didn't go over the top rope. He just went through the the bottom rope. So, but it was fun seeing Hornswoggle again. It's been a while. Number 13 was Primo. Number 14 was Xavier Woods. Number 15 was Bo Dallas. 16 was Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle was pretty awesome in the match. 17 was Scott Dawson. Number 18 Goldust. Number 19 Connor of the Ascension. Number 20 Elias. Number 21 Luke Gallows. Number 22 was Rhino. 23 Drew Gulak. Number 24 Tucker Knight from NXT of the tag team Heavy Machinery, which I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of that tag team down there in NXT. Put on really good matches. And Tucker Knight was good in this Royal Rumble match. Number 25 was Bobby Roode. 26 was Fandango. 27 was Chad Gable. 28 Rey Mysterio, which he was announced for this Greatest Royal Rumble. He was on the poster, and WWE kind of spoiled it there with Mysterio. 29 was Mojo Rawley. Number 30 was Tyler Breeze. Number 31 was Big E. 32 was Carl Anderson. 33 Apollo Crews. 34 Roderick Strong. 35 was Randy Orton. 36 was Heath Slater. 37 was Babatunde from NXT, which I haven't seen him on NXT TV. Maybe he works the NXT Live house shows. Not too sure of that, but he looked pretty good. And number 38 was Baron Corbin. 39, this was the funny one. This was the botch, the most memorable botch that people are going to look back on this show in this Greatest Royal Rumble match and, talk about. 39 was Titus O'Neil. Titus O'Neil came out, he was running to the ring. He tripped and slid underneath the ring. And it was really funny. They were playing the replays of it over and over again. The commentary guys, Michael Cole and Byron Saxton and Corey Graves couldn't stop laughing about that. It was just funny. It was classic. It was classic funny in my opinion. But I'm glad that he looked all right. I'm glad that Titus looked all right. I mean, it could have been worse. Because there's stuff under the ring. Like tables and ladders and chairs. So I'm glad that he was all right. 40 was Dan Matha from NXT. 41 Braun Strowman. When Braun Strowman ended up coming out, that's when the Rumble match changed. As Braun Strowman ended up coming out, because Braun Strowman, big guy, he eliminates everybody. There he takes everybody out. And number 42 was Ty Dillinger. 43 was Kurt Hawkins. Yeah. Bobby Lashley was number 44. 45 was the Great Khali, who got eliminated in like 5 minutes. Great Khali wasn't in the match for quite a while. 46 was Kevin Owens. 47 was Shane McMahon. This was Shane McMahon's first ever Royal Rumble match. He hasn't even been in a Royal Rumble match before because he's not technically a wrestler. And Shane McMahon, one point in the match, Braun Strowman ended up coming up on the ring apron. He pulled Shane McMahon Shane McMahon's shirt because Shane was on the top, and then he just threw Shane off of the top. Shane flew and landed on the announce table. The announce table broke, and he was just there for, I guess he was eliminated, but he wasn't, moving. So it was, I was like, holy shit! It was a holy shit moment. So, and then number 48 was Shelton Benjamin. Number 49 was Big Cass, and they saved the best for last for number 50, Chris Jericho. Jericho at first, was battling with Kevin Owens in this. Also, Shane McMahon was also battling with Kevin Owens also. And the ending of the match came to Braun Strowman and Big Cass. Big Cass ended up eliminating Daniel Bryan to start their their feud and leading up to their match at Backlash. So, and then it was just down to Strowman and Big Cass. Big Cass, was trying to eliminate Strowman. Strowman almost, was eliminated Big Cass, but he ended up kicking Big Cass, and Big Cass landed on the top rope. And then you just saw Strowman just rocking the ropes, and then just eliminated Big Cass. And so your winner of the first ever Greatest Royal Rumble match, Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman ends up getting the trophy and the Greatest Royal Rumble Championship. Vince was also in the ring there, to present him with it. Was just standing there. So Braun Strowman won. I knew that Strowman was going to win this. He was my pick to win this Rumble match. So, but yeah, I was really happy for Strowman, winning it. So, but yeah. So, anyways, that's it for this review of the Greatest Royal Rumble. Thank you all for watching. Let me know what you all thought of this Greatest Royal Rumble. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was okay? Just let me know in the comments down below what you all thought of it. So yeah, so that's it for this video. Definitely give this video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and until the next video, I'll see you all later.